right, let's crank it up. It's Friday. Okay, what it is. Eddie. I can help. I got two strong arms. I can help. Oh, yeah. How is everybody? Did you miss me? Oh, let's not start it over. Let's hit that button. Hi, Dad here. It is Friday. It is time for lunch with Dad. I can't believe it. It's been so long. It just seemed like it's been forever. By the way, Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Since we've been off since before Christmas. How was everybody's Christmas? I'd just love to hear about it. One thing we're going to do today, we're going to do some interactive commenting. We did this a couple weeks ago on our last show, and it worked great. So if you've got comments, just throw them down. You want to say anything? If they work into what we're talking about, I'll see them. We've got a little system where they'll show up, and I get to see them, and I'll talk about the comments. I see a lot of you checking in. Paul, Pamela, Patty. I'm gonna miss all these names. Everybody checking in, but check in, put things in the comments, and Tatiana and Stephanie, my assistants, they help me. They're going to be sending me information as we go through, and we're just going to make this fun and talk to each other and talk about Walt Disney World. It's Friday. It's time to talk about Walt Disney World. Before we get started, we got to start off by saying thank you to our partners at celebrationshirts.com. Really cool stuff over there. We have our own store over at Celebration Shirts. We'll have the link down in the comments, but I was looking at it this week and just there's a couple of shirts that just jumped out at me, especially the one that says Foolish Mortal and has an arrow pointing at the person over there. That's in our store. You know, if you're a Haunted Mansion fan, that Foolish Mortal, welcome Foolish Mortals, and that shirt, I think it just captures the Haunted Mansion. So run over to celebrationshirts.com, take a look at our store. We got several designs of our own in there. Great shirts. Celebrationshirts.com, they do a great job on shirts for people that are going to Disney World and people that are just doing things. If you want to create your own shirt for your own event at home, you can do that with Celebration Shirts. My buddy Josh, he takes great care of you. Just hop over to celebrationshirts.com, look at the Facebook page, go look at our store over at Celebration Shirts, and buy a bunch of shirts. Yeah, there we go. All right, what else are we going to do today? As I've been talking about commenting, putting questions, in a little bit we're going to answer questions. If you have any questions, if you're new, here's kind of what we do every week. I'll get to the plan in just a minute, but we comment, we share, we talk to each other. So if you have any comments, put them down in the comments below. If you can like this, I love watching those streaming little hearts and smiles and things like that pop across as the time goes on. And then you also share it. It would really help us if you shared this on your timeline so other people can see what we're doing here on Lunch with Dad. The more the merrier, right? All right. So what are we going to do today? The plan. Every week we have a plan because I'm all about planning. In fact, where is it? I wrote a whole book about planning a Walt Disney World vacation. Cool book. You ought to get one. Too many commercials already, right, Dad? Stop it, Dad! Stop it! No more commercials! Anyway, the book is really good, but it's all about planning. And so what is our plan for today? What are we going to do? We're going to start out talking about the news of the week. There wasn't a lot of it. I forgot to look today. Girls, if there was anything I missed, would you put it in the chat thing? And I'll pick it up because I totally forgot to look at the news today. Also, after we do the news, we're going to talk about Dad's top 5 things. Actually, the top 5 weeks to visit Walt Disney World in 2018. It's 2018. Can you believe it? 2018 is already here. So we're going to talk about the top 5 weeks to visit Walt Disney World in 2018. Then we're going to talk about how to use the Disney dining plan. Each week we talk about a how-to and a top 5, and those are the top 5s and the how-tos this week. And then we're going to get into questions. I've got like 9 questions that came in on the Ask Dad page, and then we're going to be open to your questions. So if you have any questions, just put them down in the comments below. And we'll get to them before the end of the day today. Usually we start at about 45 minutes after or 50 minutes after answering questions. But we answer them all. We'll get them all for you. All right, so that is the plan for today. Also page 1 of the notes. So let's move on to page 2. Okay, got to play some more music now. By the way, how does the music sound? I got a new speaker and I'm trying it out today. Let's just turn it on and see how it sounds. Because I'm happy. Come along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Come along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Come along if you know that happiness is you. Because I'm happy. Come along if okay, I'm happy. So why am I happy? Dad is really happy. This first news item, I just really kind of caught me by surprise. I didn't expect it, but it makes me happy. It was announced, well, it wasn't really announced yesterday, it just kind of showed up. I think it was Disney Food Blog, had a post where they had pictures of the menu boards at the Pop Century. And guess what was on it? Anybody got a guess? Yeah, Dole Whips. Dole Whips are now available at the Pop Century and everything pop at the food court. That is just so cool and so happy. I'm clapping along. I don't have a room without a roof, but that's a weird song. But it's a cool song. It's cool that the Pop Century has Dole Whips. Pretty soon, Dole Whips are going to be everywhere, and it's going to be kind of old hat. Not really. I don't think that's true. But, yeah, Dole Whips at the Pop Century. Now my 2 favorite hotels both have Dole Whips, the Pop Century and the Polynesian. I am a happy man. I can go to Disney World right now and have a Dole Whip a day because it keeps the doctors away. All right, so that's item number 1. Number 2 of the news items, Toy Story Mania. The new Toy Story Land, there's going to be an entrance to Toy Story Mania. You're not going to go into Toy Story Mania there on Pixar Place Avenue, whatever they call that anymore. You're going to go in from Toy Story Land, from the new area in Toy Story Land. So they're having to reconfigure the track and the lines for Toy Story Mania for the new opening when Toy Story Land opens this summer. My guess is mid-July. That's just my guess. I don't have any inside information, but probably mid-July. So next week, they're going to close one of the tracks. They've got 3 tracks. One of the tracks closes next week for a couple of days while they do some of the reconfigurations. Later down the later, as it gets closer to the opening of the new area, they're going to close the whole ride for a few days. No big deal. It's just, it's going to be kind of a big deal when they close the whole ride for a few days. It won't make a lot of difference right now because the crowds are going to be so low. That's why they're doing it this week, because they got low crowds this week. So they really don't need all 3 tracks this week. So that's why they're going to close one of the tracks this week. All right. Next, we really, I don't want to seem funny about this because it really is. It's kind of sad news. There was a couple of people that passed away. A couple of people that you probably have met at Walt Disney World. George Weaver, who is the mayor of the Magic Kingdom, he passed away this last week, and also Stacy Fulford, who plays Minnie Kaboom, the street characters there in Disney Hollywood Studios. She was one of the street characters, and she passed away this week. It's a sad time at Disney World. They're very beloved and good people, good characters, and they are going to be missed. They really are. Anyway, Okay, so the last news item I've got, the ladies didn't send me any new ones, so the last news item I've got is mouse keeping. There were some changes last week over the holidays, last couple of weeks over the holidays at Disney World. The new security, the new do not disturb signs now have a little disclaimer at the bottom that somebody's going to come in once a day and check on you. Excuse me, I've got a runny nose. I don't do that off camera, so you don't have to see it. But anyway, so the new security measures, one of those is mouse keeping is now going to be every day, even in the Disney Vacation Club resorts. Used to be, if you were a DVC member, your housekeeping, your mousekeeping, your housekeeping would come in you only had full mousekeeping one day a week, and then trash service on one other day a week. But now, starting Sunday, DVC properties, all the villas are going to daily housekeeping, mousekeeping. There is talk that it's a security procedure to do away with things like happened in Las Vegas. I know a lot of us, we were offered the last time we went, just a few weeks ago in the Port Orleans River French Quarter, to do the DVC type of housekeeping where they only do towel and trash service one day a week. But we didn't select that. But and they actually offered us a $60 or $70 gift card for that. But anyway, that option is going away. It looks like. So I don't know what to think about that. What do you think about that? Stick it down in the comments below. Tell me what you think about that. I don't know what to think about that very much. All right, so that's the news of the week. All right. Who's going to Disney World this year? Are you going to Disney? I'm going to Disney World. We're going to come to that in just a few. I'm going in just 2 weeks. We'll get back to that in just a minute. But so what are the best weeks to go to Walt Disney World this year in 2018? What are my top 5 weeks to visit Walt Disney World in 2018? Every year I put out a page that has my top 5 weeks to visit. Usually I do it in about February in about April for the next year. So I've had this page out for a while that talks about the top 5 weeks to visit Walt Disney World. I just thought we'd chat about it since it's the new year and talk about what the top 5 weeks are in 2018. For years, I chose the week after Thanksgiving as my number 1 week. In fact, up until last year, 2017, was the first year I didn't do that. And again in 2018, I'm not picking the week after Thanksgiving. I'm still kind of unsure about that week. I think it's a pretty good week, but it starts off with such big crowds that I'm kind of backing away from that week. The first couple of days of that week, the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and a little bit into Tuesday, the crowds are just really, really high. They go down midweek, but the weekends are busy, just like all the weekends in the December timeframe. They're always busy, but I have backed away from that first week of December being my favorite week to visit Disney World during the year. But I want to pull a Christmas week. I love Christmas at Disney World. So there's got to be a Christmas week or two on my list of the 5 best weeks to visit Walt Disney World. So my first best week to visit Walt Disney World in 2018 is December 9th through 15th. Christmas at Disney World. It just doesn't get any better than that. I love Christmas time at Disney World. I go every year during the Christmas season. I have been for probably the last 6 years during Christmas. I just love it. I typically, for 3 of the last 4 years, have gone during this week, December 9th through 15th. We throw a party. but it's the week I go. So I've made it the number one week. It is not the least busy week during the Christmas season, but it's just kind of my favorite week. Don't know why. You could pick, well, I don't like that first week after Thanksgiving. The next week is typically the Pop Warner Championships. I stay away from that week if for no other reason. There aren't any discounts. And the week after that, second or third week in December, starts to get towards Christmas. You know, when you're talking about the 23rd of December, you're starting to see the big Christmas push. So I think that week or the next week, those 2 weeks right in there are probably the best time to visit Walt Disney World, in my opinion. All right, so that's the first best week. All right, excuse me again. I'm back. All right, the second week of the year, February 4th through 10th. That time between Martin Luther King's birthday and President's Day. That period right in there, that is a great time to go to Walt Disney World. February 4th through 10th, the the new Festival of the Arts will be going on. It's just a nice time. The weather is typically pretty good. It can get cold, but it doesn't get real cold, and it's not hot. You're not going to see the 90s that you'll see later in the spring. So it's a really nice time of year. Crowds are low. It's not the lowest crowd time, but it's really nice crowds. So now that they have the Festival of the Arts over in Epcot, in fact, I'm going to see that here in a couple weeks. It's a really good time of year to visit. So that's my number 2, February 4th through 10th. Number 3, November 11th through 17th. Another Christmas week. Here we go. I love Christmas time. But this week, I really like because it's still during the Food and Wine Festival. You've still got the Food and Wine Festival. You've got both Food and Wine Festival, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. You've got both events going on at that time. So it is really a good week. Now, the first part of the weekend, the weekend part of the week will be busy because it is a holiday. The 11th is Veterans Day. It's always the 11th, Veterans Day. So you'll have Veterans Day crowds there for the first few days, and then they'll go away. So midweek, there won't be anybody into. Even the weekends are kind of slow during that time. So that's number 3, November 11th through 17th. Number 4, gotta have some September. September is the slowest month of the year crowd-wise. So you gotta have a week in September. September 9th through 15th, but really all of September, is a great time to go. Low crowds. You have Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. You've got the Food and Wine Festival. It just doesn't get much better than that. A little hot, but overall, it's a great time to go. We got a question about September coming up here in a few minutes, so we'll talk more about that in a little bit. And the last week, my 5th of the 5 weeks, excuse me. I haven't done this in a while, so my voice is giving out already. May 13th through 19th. Again, May is just kind of like September. Crowds are light. February, May, September. Crowds are light. And May can be just awesome weather-wise. Now, last May was really hot, but typically May is just about the perfect weather. Highs in the 80s, low to mid 80s, lows in the 60s. I mean, it's just beautiful. Plus, you have the Flower and Garden Festival. You have those beautiful plants. Epcot just looks incredible. Food, music, flowers and garden festival. It's just a really good time. I really, really like that May time frame for visiting Disney World. I'm going to be there the first week of May. I'm going to be there a week before that this year. But that's the 5 weeks that I think are the best weeks to visit Walt Disney World. The December 9th through 15th, February 4th through 10th, November 11th through 17th, September 9th through 15th, May 13th through 19th. So what do you think? What is your favorite time to visit Walt Disney World? Put it down in the comments, and we'll talk about it here in a minute. I see that from our last discussion about the cards and mousekeeping, Pamela says, I think any attempts they make to ensure guest safety is a plus. It can be a little bit of a pain sometimes, but it's better safe than sorry. I totally agree with that, Pamela. Safety is priority one for the guests. That's why we don't mind too much the search thing. You know, it's only been a year that they've had the arches that you've got to go through at the parks. You know, it used to be just kind of bag check and then kind of next. But yeah, that's really kind of important. But what do you think about the best times to visit Walt Disney World? What are your favorite times to visit Walt Disney World? Somebody's going the week of January, what is that number, 28? That's a good week. That is a good week. Once you get past that Martin Luther King holiday, that's a good week to go. Okay. And I think that was Kevin is going the week of January 28th. Okay, somebody's trying to put a comment in. I'm going to wait and see what it happens. Oh, okay. And she just put that comment from Kevin. I beat her to it. Yeah, it's so good. Anyway. All right. Discounts came out yesterday, or maybe the day before, but anyway, new discounts came out. It's Disney is doing all kinds of discounts. Used to be there was a pattern to the discounts. There's not any pattern anymore. Things are coming out, promotions are coming out all the time. So keep looking for promotions all the time. But this one came out yesterday, and this one is it's pretty much right now through summer. And through all of summer. There were several promotions that came out yesterday. The first one is called Soak Up Some Sun and Fun. And it's 20% off of rooms, up to 20% off of rooms between February 14th and June 10th. And there's an little extra in that. If you have a package with tickets and you have 5 days worth of tickets, they'll add a day to your tickets. So that was the first of the new discounts. The second one, Savor Summer. Get one free quick service meal per day, per person per day. And this is between May 29th and August 25th. Now, there are some restrictions like you can't have a discounted package. This is the only package you could have. If you've got any discount, if the room's discounted at all, this doesn't apply. So, for new purchase and new reservations, you get a free quick service meal per person. That's $25 a person. That's pretty good savings. All right, a couple other ones came out. One for Disneyland, 25% off of hotels between January 7th and April 12th, and the Disney Cruise Line they're doing 50% off of deposits for 7-night or longer cruises. And that's a pretty big deal because you're talking those deposits are considerable at times. So 50% off of deposits and then pay as you go is a great thing. If you are interested in going to Disney World at all, get in touch with our partners at Destinations to Travel. There's going to be a link down in the comments below. They are the best at taking care of people that are going to Walt Disney World, that are going to anything. Adventures by Disney, Disney Cruise Line, Disneyland, they know it all. They know almost as much as Dad does. Well, they listen to Dad, so I talk to them all the time. They do a very good job. They take care of their clients. They really do. I hear it from people all the time about how they go above and beyond. It doesn't cost you anything, so it's not like you're going to be out any money. Go down and click on the link in the comments below to our Destinations to Travel page, and let them help you with your trip. If you book a trip and later a discount comes out, like these discounts yesterday, they were looking at all our clients and seeing who this could apply to. They monitor your reservation, and if a discount applies to you, they'll get the discount for you. It's a great service, and that's free. It's all just part of what they do. So get in touch with Destinations to Travel today. If you've booked with Destinations to Travel before and you book again, they just started a loyalty program. This started last month. It started in December. If you've booked with them before and you book again, if you book a moderate or deluxe room, they've got some in-room gifts that they've got for you. Some cool stuff, little bags and well, here are the pictures, but little bags. Let's see, that's autograph books. There's Mickey's, just really nice little gifts. So get in touch with Destinations to Travel today. You don't have to do it for the gifts. You don't have to do it. They will take great care of you. I trust them. I use them. They book my trips. I've been using them for years. This is the third year we've been partners with Destinations to Travel. I have absolute confidence in them. So I highly recommend them. And if you're going to Disney World, they can help. All right. Let's see comments. Back to the, excuse me, I'm going to take a drink because I got something in my throat. Okay. Back to the week to go. Mindy, oh, well, that's a question. Never mind. We'll get to questions later. But, all right. Comments. All right. Here we go. We're caught up. If you got any comments at any time about anything, put them down in the comment area down there. And, we're trying to make this interactive. I want to have a dialogue with you, comments, questions. We're going to get to questions here in a little bit. But I better start moving and quit yammering and get on with stuff, or we're never going to get to these questions. In fact, I'm gonna skip the rant, ladies. All right. So next, how to use the Disney dining plan. How do you use the Disney dining plan, Al? Eat it. Get yourself an egg and beat it. Have some more chicken, have some more pie. It doesn't matter, it's more your fried. Oh, I love Al Yankovic, Weird Al Yankovic, and his music. But eat it. How to use the Disney dining plan? You eat it. All right, so how to use the Disney dining plan at Walt Disney World. Now, this is going to be very basic. We're just going to do the basics of how to use the Disney dining plan. Not going to get deep in the weeds. Next, we're going to break this up into 3 parts. This week, we're just going to talk about the basics. Next week, we'll talk about the table service plan. And in 3 weeks, next week, we'll talk about quick service. 3 weeks, we'll talk about table service. So, how do you use the Disney dining plan? First, you have to be a guest of a Disney hotel, not the Swan and Dolphin, not the Good Neighbor hotels over in downtown Disney, but Disney Springs. Dadgummit, downtown Disney. Old man. Anyway, Disney Springs, the Good Neighbor hotels there, the 7 Good Neighbor hotels down in the Disney Springs area, they don't qualify. It's just the Disney hotels. So you've got to be a Disney hotel guest. Everybody on your reservation, everybody in your room has to be on the Disney dining plan. If there's one, all of you have to do it. There's no, well, I don't want my 3-year-old on it because it doesn't make any sense for a 3-year-old, and it doesn't. But they have to be on it if they're on your reservation. And if they're staying in your room, they should be on your reservation. So everybody in the room and for the entire length of stay. You can't say, well, I only want it for the first 3 days. I don't want it for the last 3 days. It's got to be for the entire length of your stay. So after that, you get a certain number of credits, depending on which level of the plan you get. There are 3 levels. There's the quick service, there's the table service, and then there's the deluxe. Now, they used to have some more levels above the deluxe, but they've done away with those. But And we're not going to talk about the deluxe because it's really just, it is a money grab from Disney. Anyway, so quick service and table service are the basic levels. There's 3 levels, and you get credits the credits are different depending on which level you are. For example, the quick service is 2 meals and 2 snacks. I'm going to get it wrong because I didn't write it down, so we'll just talk about that next week. So you get credits per night. So if you're there for 6 nights, and let's say you're on the table service and you get 1 table service, 1 quick service, you've got 6 table services, 6 quick services, and I think it's 2 snacks per person, so it's 12 snacks. So every night you get a set of credits, just per night you are in of your reservation. 6-night reservation, 6 sets of credits. You can use those credits at any time. You don't have to use credits every day. You don't have to use them. I mean, you could use them all on the first day and be done with your Disney dining plan. Your second day, your third day. You don't have to use them any day. You don't have to use them at all. Disney doesn't care if you use them at all. Be silly, but you don't have to use them at all. You can still pay cash at any time for any meal. You don't have to just use the Disney dining plan. How you use it when you go to a restaurant. If you're going to a quick service, when you order, they'll ask you. That's why I got my magic band on today. You just pop your magic band. They'll show you where to put your magic band. If you're at a table service restaurant, they've got a little scanner they carry around, and they'll scan your magic band. So you tell them you're on the Disney dining plan, and then you use your Disney dining plan to pay for your meals with your credits. Now, some restaurants are 1 credit, some are 2. We'll talk about that later. One thing about the table service restaurants, the nice restaurants, the sit-down restaurants where you've got a server coming to your table. The table service restaurants, tipping is not included. Tipping can be a bit of a challenge with the Disney dining plan. If you're using your magic band to do all your purchases, it can get a little hard to put tips on the magic band. It's something that Disney just hasn't quite worked out, and I don't know why, because they've been doing this for years, but it's just not easy. I take cash. I use cash everywhere. Even when we're using the Disney dining plan, tips are always in cash. But you can put them on your magic bands. You can put them on a credit card. You can do whatever. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay, there are snacks on all levels of the Disney dining plan. Snacks are things like Cokes, popcorn, Dole Whips, pretzels. On all of the menu boards, there's a little icon that shows snacks. I don't know what it looks like, but there's a little icon that shows the snacks. So if you want to know if your item that you want is a snack, and you can use a snack credit, check that menu board. I know we when we're going to the Food and Wine Festival, Flower and Garden Festival, Festival of the Arts, that's the best place to use those credits for the Disney for the snack credits, because you get something worth $6 or $7 for a snack credit versus a $2.50 Coke. All right. Everybody on the Disney dining plan gets a refillable mug. I should have had one in here. I got tons of those things. We love the refillable mugs. But you got the refillable mug. The refillable mugs are really cool. You take them to the machines, you put them on a machine, you press your drink, and you've got a drink. Love the refillable mug. So everybody gets a refillable mug. They only work at the hotels, though. The refillable mugs don't work in the parks. Refillable mugs only work in the hotels. Okay, so you will want to use all your credits. That's how, if you don't use all your credits, you've wasted money. You should have just paid for your meals. You should use all your credits. One thing you can do, not a good idea, it's not a good use of the dining plan, is take quick service credits and you can turn them into snacks. So quick service, a quick service will turn into 3 snacks. So you're taking a $25 meal and turning it into $5 or $3, 6, 9, $10 worth of snacks. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to do that, but a lot of people do. A lot of people. I actually heard somebody on one of my trips that said, "I got 40 snacks credits ready to go. I'm gonna buy." It's crazy, but you can do that. I don't recommend that, but you can do that. All right, that's done. Again, you can pay with cash anytime. So those are kind of the basics of the Disney dining plan. We will talk about quick service meals next week, but those are the basics of how the Disney dining plan works. All right. Any questions, comments? Let's see. Let's catch up on comments here. Got a few comments. Back to when to go. Patty says, I've been in February, October, and December, all of which are good times. Planning on May for the next trip. It's good to get that those different times, Patty. That's a good idea. I've been in almost every month now. By the end of this year, we'll be in probably 10 out of 12 months. So I like having that variety too. Let's see. Okay, those are questions. All right. We will get to questions later. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comments. I've got a few questions here from our Ask Dad page. I'm going to try to run through these really quick, and then we'll get to your questions. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what's going on here. All right, so here we go. First question. This one, and actually, this is 2 questions in one, and I forgot to write who they're from. Bad on me. But anyway, these don't have who they're from because they're about poo-sized people. Dad is a poo-sized person. So let's see what people say about poo-sized people. Hi, all. I'll be heading to Walt Disney World and Islands Adventure for New Year. Oh, congratulations. I'll be going with my girlfriend. Around 10 years ago, I remember trying to fit into the Hulk, only to be extremely embarrassed when I could not fit into the ride. I remember everyone looking at me. It was truly horrible, and I don't want my girlfriend, who is not a beast like me, she's thin, to have to go through that. I'm currently 6 foot, 340. A vast majority of my weight is in my upper body, and I wear 2XB shirts, 3XL pants, or 3XL shirts. My pants are 44 inches. I've read that Disney rides should be fine, but my girlfriend really wants to go to Pandora ride. She wants to do all the other roller coasters on Islands Adventure. Any recommendations would be extremely appreciated. Thank you. And here's the second one. I'm 6'5", 330, 42-inch waist, long legs, long torso, very thick like a football player. I'm going to Disney World with my wife and daughter and wondering which rides I might have problems fitting on. Okay, here we go. So, and I think these were both guys just looking at their email addresses. Guys, I understand what you're talking about. Well, both of them were guys because both of them said they were guys, didn't they? I've spent a lot of time talking about rides and poo-sized people, big people. I'm a big guy. Always been a big guy. I was a big guy when I was 12 years old. I grew up early, so I've always been a big guy. I lost a lot of weight a few years ago, so I'm not as big as I used to be. I used to be really big. So I know what it's like to get on the rides and be uncomfortable. I've even got a page all about it. We'll put the link down in the comments, but we get a lot of comments and a lot of information on that page. Basically, what it boils down to is Disney is great about rides for big people. They do a great job of engineering their rides for big people. There are really not any rides that I can't ride and I couldn't ride when I was really big. And I mean, I was 280 pounds at 5'11". So I could still ride all the rides. There are some rides that are tough mobility-wise. If you have mobility problems, getting into Space Mountain, if you got knee problems, that can be kind of difficult. Some of the boat rides are hard to get in and out of if you've got mobility problems. But they really aren't any real problems at Disney with with rides, except there are two rides that are a little bit challenging. First one is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Now, I don't know who designed Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, but they had to weigh about 120 pounds. I mean, the seats in Seven Dwarfs Mine Train are contoured. So unlike Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, where you've got a bench seat that goes across, in Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, you've got this little contoured seat that contours to the hip areas. It's built for little bitty people. If you're a big person, you can sit in the seat, but it's not particularly comfortable. It's got a lap bar that comes down. So it's not like you'd have to be really big to not be able to get into that ride. So while you can ride that ride, what I will say is the lap bar is an individual bar. You've got poles that come up that hold the lap bar. It comes up like this, and they're not very wide. So if you've got big old legs, I got big old legs, and it's pretty uncomfortable for me to get into that ride. So the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is kind of uncomfortable, but it's still doable for most people. The other ride that has some problems is the Barnstormer. Now, the Barnstormer is pretty much a kid's ride, but parents go on it. So Barnstormer can be a little problem because it's kind of a small space. A lot of people complained about Flight of Passage when it first came out. I rode it a couple of on our last trip. I didn't see where it was much of a problem. The restraint devices on Flight of Passage aren't that restrictive when you get on. You get on and the restraint devices come to you. People say the lower leg devices are a little small. I didn't have that experience, and I had big old legs. So I think you'll be fine on any of the rides. Now, Universal, somebody else, if you got any ideas about Universal, put them down in the comments, because I don't know nothing about Universal. I haven't been to Universal in 20 years, probably, at least. So I'm not familiar with, and the last time I was at Universal, we went to Islands of Adventure. I rode the Hulk roller coaster right off the bat. First thing we did was go ride the Hulk. I got sick, and I didn't ride another roller coaster all day. So I can't really tell you about the roller coaster at Universal. What I hear is Universal is not all that friendly to poo-sized people. If you've got experience with Universal, you can tell us about what goes on at Universal. Put it down in the comments, and we'll get information about that. All right, so the bottom line is Disney is great for dealing with poo-sized people. Universal, from what I hear, not so much. Anyway, that's question number one. All right, let's get back to comments. Back to the comments about the Disney dining plan. Al says, one of our traditions is to check out the last day and go to Goofy's Candy and spend the rest of our snack credits. That's okay if you're using your snack credits. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people do that. They get candy the last day and they take it on the plane, they take it back home. Absolutely. Comment from Robert. We just got back from Disney and thanks for your tips. You're welcome, Robert. And for Chris at Destinations of Travel, it was a success. 10 rides, 3 character shows by noon. Disappointed in the accuracy of touring plan's crowd level. Changed by 2 to 3 levels during the week of the trip. Wow. Predicting crowds at Disney World is really hard. I know touring plans. I talk to those people all the time. I've talked to Lynn Testa several times. He's the guy behind touring plans, the math guy, and they do an incredible amount of work to come up with their crowd. But Disney crowds right now, they are so funky. They're just hard to predict. Pamela says, I can say I've not had any problem with a Disney ride. A couple of little awkwards getting on and off, but should still fit. Flight of passage, lift up your toes to place the smallest part of your calf. When the restraint comes up, that helps. Cross your ankles to help give your legs more room on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Pamela says, Universal is not poo size friendly at all. Oh, and this is one thing I forgot. Always use the test seats, even if you fit, if it's close. Be prepared that you may not fit on the rides, even after you use the test seat. Each Universal, each outside of each ride, there is a test seat that you can use to see if you will fit on the rides. All right, next question. Here we go. This one is from Pedro in Brazil. Hi, how are you? I'm good, Pedro. How are you? I'm considering a visit to Orlando in September 2018. I have read it's going to be hot and rainy. Of course, that's a pattern we can predict with some good accuracy, but my problem isn't exactly if it's going to be hot and rainy, but how hot and rainy will it be? Is it bearable? Does it rain all the time? And more important, I don't mind standing in the rain. I kind of like it, actually. Do attractions close during the rain? Thank you very much for your time. Pedro, that's a great question. September, as we talked about already, is a great month to visit. It's the lightest crowd month of the year. The princess and her Prince Charming got married, did a honeymoon at Disney World in September. Will it be hot and rainy? Yes, it will be hot and rainy in September. It is. It just is. It's kind of the beginning of the cool down season. August is kind of the peak, and then it starts cooling down a little bit in September. So how hot is hot? Well, the average temperature in September is 93 or 90 degrees Fahrenheit, or I think you guys use Celsius down there. It's 32 degrees Celsius. So 90/32 degrees is the high, the average high for a day in September. The average in August, that hottest month is 92 and 33. So it's just a little hotter in August. Now about rain. On the average, there are 13 days of rain in September for about 6 inches. Now those are the statistics. Those are the averages. Rain is not really a problem for the rides. Most of the Disney rides are indoors. So most of the rides keep going. There are a few rides that will shut down when the rain comes, like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, because you're out in the rain and it's the rain's hitting you and the track gets wet and you can't have a roller coaster on a wet track. Test Track is another one, kind of the same thing. You've got high speed on a wet track. Let's see, what else do you have? Dumbo might shut down. Magic Carpets of Aladdin, depending how hard it's raining. The Jungle Cruise, if it rains real hard, they might shut down the Jungle Cruise because you might slip as you're getting in the boat. Test Track, I've already said. Expedition Everest, that's another roller coaster outside. So those will shut down. A Triceratops Spin at Animal Kingdom too. Those will shut down sometimes when it rains. But let's talk about the rain at Disney World in September. Typically, now not always, but typically the pattern is mornings will not be rainy. It'll be very humid in the mornings. And when the temperature gets around 90 degrees, those thunderstorms will start to build. And you'll have afternoon thunderstorms that usually don't last very long, 30 minutes to maybe an hour. This is the typical afternoon thunderstorm in Florida. Sometimes, yes, it rains all day, but the typical is you've got a shower in the afternoon. What that usually does is that sends people home. They don't want to be out in the rain. They're going to get wet. So usually you can wait those out in gift shops, in rides, and you'll go into the Hall of Presidents and you'll come out in the ride. It'll be bright and sunny again. It really is, rain is not really a problem in September. It's kind of nice because it cools things down, usually. Now, I know there are periods of time where they have long, day-long rains and sometimes week-long or 2 or 3 day-long rains, but that's really not the typical pattern. Typical pattern is it rains for 30 minutes to an hour, and then it goes away, which is really, really a good thing usually in that hot time of year. Now, when it comes to heat and dealing with heat, what you want to do, go in the mornings. Go first thing in the mornings to the park. While it's cool, do all the rides. Afternoons, go back to the hotel. Get in the air conditioning. Get in the pool. Go to a water park. Get some time out of the parks in the afternoon and get somewhere in the air conditioning. Come back in the evenings when it cools down and enjoy the nighttime. And that's the way you deal with the heat at Walt Disney World. Anyway, September, the bottom line is September's going to be hot. It will be rainy, but it's very doable. It's a doable thing. July, August, I don't think I'd go back in there. I'm going to try September, but I don't know about July and August. But September's going to be great because crowds there aren't any. All right. Here, Al says on this, funny story. We were on test track and it started raining while we were in the queue. When the car hit the door heading outside, we got hit in the face with the rain. Thought we were on Splash Mountain. So yeah, that's when you get, go outside there in test track and get that rain on your face. Yeah, listen to the rhythm of falling rain. I should have had that song ready. All right, here's the next question. This one comes from Carla in Denver, North Carolina. We will be at Walt Disney World January 28th through February 3rd, coming right up. We have a 12-year-old who is diabetic and have read about the Disability Access Pass that we may be able to use. We have Fast Passes and read that we can use this in conjunction with Fast Pass. How exactly does it work? Do we have to go to the guest relations lobby at the park entrance and apply for access? But do we have to do this, or does going to one of the parks cover for all 4 parks? I've never had to deal with the Disability Access Pass, so I asked our partners at Destinations to Travel. That's one of the things that they're very, very familiar with. A lot of their agents have people that suffer from disabilities. So they're very familiar with the Disability Access Pass. And Nancy Castile, one of their agents, has this answer. The Disability Access Pass, DAS, is available at guest services. Let them know that you may have an issue waiting in line due to a medical condition. Have your son with you as they will take his picture so the cast members can identify him when you use the pass. They will ask you how many guests are with you. The pass is good for up to 6 guests. The pass will be good for your entire stay, so you don't need to go more than once. You show this pass to a cast member, and then they will issue at the attraction entrance, at the Fast Pass entrance, and they will issue a return time, which is the same as the wait time for the attraction. And then when you return, you go to the Fast Pass line and have your little card that they're going to issue you. So the bottom line is you go to guest services once the first day, and you get your pass. Have the person with you that it applies to. Have them with you so their picture can be made, and you will have that pass good for your whole stay. Then you go to the rides, present it, you get your time to come back. Easy. Good thing. All right. Let's see. All right. Next question. Here we go. I'll do this real quick. I'm going on a hashtag Disney cruise. 2 weeks from today, there won't be any lunch with Dad. The 19th. The 19th, there won't be lunch with Dad because I will be boarding the Disney Dream that day. Now, we may do some videos if I get good service there on board as we're boarding because we're leaving that day. I'm going on a media event on the Disney Dream for a three-night cruise. I can't wait. This is Mom and I are so. We're going to go down a day before and have a night at Disney Springs, and then when we get back, we're going to come back over and do a couple of days in Epcot at the International Festival of the Arts. So we've never been to that, so it's going to be fun. I can't wait. I'm going on a hashtag Disney cruise. Who's coming along? Who's going to go with me? Who wants to go with me on a Disney cruise? Hey, Patrick, you want to come with me? Did you get invited? All right, here we go. Next question. We got to hurry up because it's almost time to quit. I knew this was going to be a long day. All right. This question comes from Laura in Ontario, Canada. Seven of my friends and I are going to Disney World in May for a band trip. We plan to get everything we want to do outside of our performance day. I'm the veteran of the group, so I have to plan everything. I have all the reservations booked that we want to do. I was just wondering how busy you think the 17th through the 19th would be in the parks. We only get one day in each park, so I'm concerned about the Magic Kingdom. We have at least 4 first-timers in our group, so I don't want to rush them through, but I still want to be able to ride all of the rides. We may get the last half of our day to return to the Magic Kingdom, but we may also decide to do Animal Kingdom since it's the park we skipped. What would you suggest to do? Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, or add more time? Thanks add more time. Thanks so much. Laura, first let's talk about the crowds. If you go look at our May Disney crowd calendar, the link will be down in the comments, you'll see that that is a pretty nice time to go. Weekends are kind of busy, but weekdays, weekends, it's one of those times of year where weekends could be really slow too. But typically they're kind of busy. Weekdays, midweek, especially weekdays, are really nice at that time of year. So crowds won't be too terrible. What I would suggest, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, it depends on who you are with. For me, I would go back to the Magic Kingdom because that's the place I love. And I'd be kind of torn because I like Animal Kingdom too, but I like Magic Kingdom better. There's so much more to do in Magic Kingdom than there is in Animal Kingdom. You're probably, if you've got a full day at Magic Kingdom, depending on how big your group is, you might see all the rides you want to ride, but if you want to see everything, you can't do it in one day. So my suggestion would be to look at your group. Is your group roller coaster? Is it wild? Is it Magic Kingdom people? They want to be in the Magic Kingdom. They love the Magic Kingdom. Then you go to the Magic Kingdom. If they're animal nuts, if they got to see the animal shows, then you go to Animal Kingdom. So Magic Kingdom for Magic Kingdom type people, Animal Kingdom for Animal Kingdom type people. It's just that simple. The bottom line is do what you think is going to be best for your group. I don't know your group, so I could tell you one thing and it would be totally wrong. Do what you think is best for your group. All right. By the way, comments, which would you choose? Leave the comments below. Which would you choose? If you had a choice, half a day at the Magic Kingdom, or go to the end, and you've already been there for a day, or go back to the Magic Kingdom for half a day, or go to the Animal Kingdom. Which would you choose? Okay. All right. This next one's going to go real quick. Excuse me. Okay. This one comes from Lissa in Michigan. Do you know if Disney's going to release another room discount for March 2018? Thanks. Lissa, as we talked about earlier, they just did on Wednesday. So yes, there is a room discount out for March. All right. This one is from Erin in Australia. We are a family of 4 from Australia wanting to know if we should split our stay between 2 hotels on a 10-night stay. We're planning on doing Walt Disney World, Universal Studios, a day in the water parks, Kennedy Space Center, and maybe an Everglades tour. I was trying to get my husband to do a 7-night stay in Disney and then do a Caribbean cruise, but he's not too keen on cruises, or possibly fly to Cancun or somewhere else. But I'm thinking that moving around with 2 kids, 8 and 10, might be a bit too much, and we will be going to Yellowstone after Florida summer. There's dots there, so I can take a nice deep breath. The next plan is maybe split our stay between Art of Animation, Family Suite, and then move to one of the monorail resorts like the Grand Floridian and the Polynesian for the other half instead of wasting the money to fly onto the Caribbean. Aaron, wow, I almost get tired reading that. That sounds really busy. You're coming from Australia. You're going to Yellowstone, and you're going to Disney World, and you're going to the Kennedy Space Center, and you're going to the Everglades, and going to King. Just a lot of stuff going on there. Split stays. I'm kind of 6 of one, half a dozen the other on split stays. It's not my favorite thing. I've done a split stay. I'd do it again, but I'm not keen on it. But if you want to save some money, go to the Art of Animation for a few days and then splurge for the end of your trip and go to the Polynesian or the Grand Floridian. If you want to do that, absolutely. That's a good idea. I would not mess with the Caribbean cruise, Cancun. I think I agree. I think that's just too much. So the bottom line is, I wouldn't do the extras. I would stop and just do the Disney World. And that's me as a Disney World guy, yes, but I do think that is too much. There is such a thing as doing too much. So stay at Disney World. It's okay. Split your stays between the Art of Animation and the Polynesian or Grand Floridian. And that'll be fine. All right. Comments. What do you think? What would you do? All right. I got two more. Three more. A couple of them real quick. All right. So this next question. We're thinking of going to the Food and Wine Festival in September 2018. Any insights on what construction might be complete by then at the Caribbean Beach Resort? And this was from Al in Pennsylvania. Al, I have no idea for sure, but my guess is by September of 2018, was that what you said? Yeah, September of 2018, that the main building probably will be back up and in progress by then. Now, they're still going to be working on that new big Riviera resort that they're building over there, but that's kind of away from where most of the stuff happens. So the main building will be good. The Skyliner, they'll still be working on the Skyliner, but most of the major construction will be done by that time in September of 2018. The bottom line is, the Caribbean Beach Resort is still a mess, but it's getting better. And by September, it ought to be in decent shape. All righty. Next question. Here we go. Andre from Quebec City. What time is check-in at the Art of Animation Hotel? 3 p.m. All Disney hotels. The check-in is at 3. At the Villa hotels, it's 4. There you go. 3 p.m. Told you that can go by fast. All right, here's the last question, then we'll get to your questions. So if you've got any questions, put them down in the comments. Looks like we've got 3 or so, and we will get to them. I know it's time to quit. So here we go. This last question. Melissa in Ontario, London, Ontario. Based on your recommendations, we booked the Polynesian for our upcoming Disney trip in August. We booked a standard room. I'm trying to decide which longhouse to request. I'm torn between the Samoa and the Rarotonga. Which would be best for a large family traveling with a baby, 3 boys who are eager to go to the big pool. Thanks in advance, Melissa. Melissa, the Polynesian, typically when we talk about choosing rooms, choosing longhouses, choosing buildings, I don't recommend that. Just not something I particularly like. I've done it a few times. It's okay. But a couple of times when I did it, I got a better option when Disney picked for me, when I put I want to be in this building. Disney picked one. Oh, I like that one better. Basically though, for the Polynesian, if you're choosing between Rarotonga and Samoa for the pool, you go with Samoa because it's closer to the pool. It's just that simple. So the bottom line is, between Rarotonga and Samoa, I would go with Samoa because of the pool. Now, Touring Plans has a really cool little thing you might want to look at. If you're a subscriber to Touring Plans, you can go down to our page. The link will be down in the comments. And subscribe to Touring Plans. If you're a subscriber, they have a tool where you can actually see every room at all of the Disney hotels. You can see it. You can see the view from it. And you can go and choose your room. And as a subscriber, you can even make a choice and send a request to Disney. They will send a request to Disney. It works pretty good. I know Stephanie, my assistant that's helping me today, she got the exact room she requested. We got a room in the same building, but it wasn't the room we requested. But it works. It works pretty good. All right. Woohoo! That's all the questions. So let's look and see what your questions are. All right, Mindy, back, go back. This one came from Mindy. We are going at the end of May as a graduation gift for my daughter. We would like to make a special dining reservation. What do you recommend? Mindy, that's hard for me to tell you. For me, it would be the Yachtsman because I'm a steak lover. I want a big old thick steak when I go to eat somewhere. And the Yachtsman has great steaks. Might go over to Sheila's over in the Dolphin. But that would be what I would look at. Now, you probably aren't a big steak lover like I am. So what is more, when you're talking about Victoria and Albert's, I don't want to go to Victoria and Albert's. But I know right now, Stephanie, my assistant, and Tatiana are both going, go, Dad, 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 because they would love to go to Victoria and Albert's. That thing just doesn't look good. Look at the menus for the restaurants. Disney has the menus on their website. Lots of places you can find the menus. Look at the menus for the websites and see which one looks best for you. And that's where you go. Just that simple. All right, here's the next question. Nancy asks, do you know if the wish list items from the web My Disney Experience are available for access as such on the app? Like it was a long time ago. It appears that the wish list feature does not appear to be a wish list feature on the apps. Okay, so if you're looking at My Disney Experience on your computer, there's a wish list. Put this on my wish list. That does not show up on your app. You can add things to your plans and it will show up on your app, but not the wish list. I believe that's what I'm being told the way it works. I don't look. Yeah, I've never used the wish list feature, so I don't know. Sorry. Pamela asks, we are planning a trip in Christmas 2019. Yes, I love Christmas at Disney World. I was thinking about the last week of October, first week of November to try to catch both the Halloween party and the Christmas party while there. Do you think that would be possible? Also, I really want to see Candlelight Processional again too, but I don't think they start that until after Thanksgiving. That is correct. Do they ever do the processional in early November? No. If I had to choose between the Halloween party and the processional, I think the processional would win out. But what's your take on it? Thanks. It kind of depends. This year, 2017, the last Halloween party was November 1st. The first Christmas party was November 9th. So it was more than 7 days if you're trying to do it in the same week. Typically, that time is not that spread out. It's a little closer. I've seen it as from November 2nd to November 5th one year. November 2nd was a Halloween party. November 5th was a Christmas party. Next year, I kind of think it'll be spread out again. I think that's the way it's going to work, but who knows? They usually have the first Christmas party on a Friday night. So next year, the first is like Tuesday or Wednesday. They would not have it that quick on that Friday. So you're going to have another week. So you're going to have a little bit of spread in time. Now, you would see the decorations. I know we were there the 4th of November this year, and the decorations were going up on the 4th of November. So we were able to see the decorations while we were there, and we left on the 5th. So we saw most of the decorations. We did not see them in Animal Kingdom because that was the first park we went to. So, but typically, short period, you can do it in that week, but not always. And I don't think you'll be able to next year. 2019, I don't know what the calendar looks like in 2019, so I couldn't tell you in 2019. Might happen, but it might not. Candlelight Processional, it's always the Friday after Thanksgiving. That's the first Candlelight Processional. Never before that. And I agree. The Candlelight Processional is the reason, is one of the main reasons to go to Christmas at Walt Disney World. I mean, it's just the best thing during the Christmas show. So if you want to see the Candlelight Processional, you've got to wait until the day after Thanksgiving. All right. Let's see if I missed anything else. Comment. Question. I think I got them all. All right. I know. Went long. We had lots of questions because we were off for a couple weeks. So typically we don't have that many questions. But appreciate you sticking with me. This is a good week. Glad to be back. I hope you had a great Christmas. I hope you enjoyed today. Hope you having a great new year. We're going to try to make it a big new year here. We got lots of plans going on this year. We'll be talking about the cruise and Dad being at Disney World the next couple of weeks. If you're going to be at Disney World the 18th through the 24th, I'll be there. Look for me. I'll be in Epcot most of the time, or Disney Springs. Anyway, thank you to our partners from Celebration Shirts. Where is it? Right there. Celebration Shirts for sponsoring Lunch with Dad. Go over and look at them. If you're going to Disney World, go talk to Destination to Travel, all those discounts that came out already. Have a great week. We'll see you all next Friday. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for watching Dad's video. For more simple, fun, magic Walt Disney World information, go to Dad's Guide to WDW.com. You can do that by clicking the I button that's popping up on the screen right now. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and get more Dad's YouTube videos with Daditude.